everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Sarah, and in today's video we're going to go through all the stuff that I market prepped over the last 2 weeks for a market that I have this weekend. So if you haven't seen it, I did a festival breakdown after my 3-day long festival 2 weeks ago. I sold out on basically everything during that event, so I just spent the last 2 weeks with the help of my sister filling up on some of our essential pieces, some of our staples, and then we also did a little bit of some fun stuff, so the unicorns and stuff. Sold out all of these at the festival, so I kind of had no choice but to restock a bit. But everything you see on the table and on my ring light, those are all stuff that I've managed to make. And like I said earlier, I did get the help of my sister, so she made probably 15-20% of what's here. We've just been non-stop working since the Sunday after the festival because I knew this market was coming up. And this market is just a little market, but obviously I can't show up with 15 items and call it good. So yeah, we spent the 2 weeks working on this. I have a couple things that I want to work on, such as a highland cow. I'm gonna make a highland cow mod and probably include it in the pattern. So I need to do that today. The other thing I need to do today is work on some more chickens. So I need to make at least 3 or 4 more, which shouldn't be too hard if I just sit down and do it. I don't really love making the chickens because, like, out of everything, the chickens are probably my least favorite, but they do so well. Today is Thursday and I have 2 days until market. Market day is Saturday. I have tomorrow to tag everything, so I'll just be putting these aside and we'll do tagging tomorrow, and I'll start working on the highland cow and some more chickens, and I'll take you along for that. And like I said, tomorrow we'll do tagging, and then finally we'll do the market on Saturday. Probably won't be able to do the breakdown until Sunday, but regardless, you will see this video hopefully soonish. Figured you guys wanted to look at the numbers real quick before I continued. So this is how I write down my inventory. I write down what the piece is, having a hard time focusing, but I write down what the name of the item is, how many there are, so this is the quantity, and then what the price is for each individual item. And then I'll times all of this together and add it all up, and that will give me the total, which is $1,559 worth of merchandise. And it's not a whole ton. I've had more for other markets, but it is enough for this little market I'll be going to in 2 days. Now, the extra large elephant, extra large unicorn, I had those left over from the festival. I didn't make those in the 2 weeks. I think everything else on this list is stuff that I have made in the last 2 weeks. The majority of the inventory total is what we worked on in the last 2 weeks, which is super cool. Let's get crocheting. That's the fun part. Ignore the atrocious color of my bedspread. I don't like it either, but these are the cloth bins I was talking about in my festival video. They're not really bins, but they're bags, and they don't stand up on their own very well, so they're not very structural, but they can hold a whole ton of stuff, and they can fold up real nice, and they don't break because they're not plastic or anything. So if you're looking for a storage, I recommend getting something like this. I've seen canvas bags that are waterproof. There are waterproof versions, or at least as waterproof as they can be. Ignore this. This is just a little dryer sheet because sometimes your stuff can smell, and I heard a tip that if you put a dryer sheet in there, it can keep your stuff from starting to smell like whatever container it's in. We're gonna fill this up and set it aside. Like I said, tomorrow we'll do the tagging, so let's see how much I can put in here. Ignore what's down there in the crack. It's just crochet stuff. I had to clear it off to make room for the stuff on the table. So we're just gonna start with the $15 items. So these are all the bees, all the chickens, the possums, and the snakes, and the caterpillars. So I learned a lesson from my last festival to raise the prices on certain things because they sold a little bit too quickly, and they also took a little bit more time than I convinced myself they did. So the bees, they're 15 because they do take some time to make. The caterpillars, I absolutely hate making. I know they're my own pattern and a lot of people like them, but I absolutely hate making them because of all the baubles and how small the stitch count is. Out of all the things that I've made, they're probably on the least favorite list for this market. And I don't know if they'll continue to be a staple in the future, considering how tedious they are to make. Possums are a great seller. If I had more time, I'd definitely make more. So if you're looking for something that sells really well, possums are a hit. Snakes sell really well. These guys are 15. Anything in the $12 to $15 price range usually sells well. And then what's remaining are my $12 pieces. So the octopi are 12. My whales, they are 12, and then the axolotls, they are 10 because they're a bit smaller. They work up faster. Most of the patterns I just showed you are my own. The snake is my mini snake pattern I released recently. The whales are my own, they're a free pattern. The octos are a free pattern as well, so I just threw that one. But we will, not we, I will put in the description all the patterns that you see, whether they're free or not. You guys can check them out on your own. That's a full bin of the $15 to $10 pieces, and it looks great. Let's just close it up and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, there's the bin. It could be even more full than what it already is. If you don't have a way to easily transport things, get a cloth bin of some kind and it'll save you all the hard work. And they just fold down, they don't take up a ton of space. We're gonna get a second bin for everything else, including the sea turtles that have taken over my lamp. These guys are super cute. They only take about an hour and a half, 2 hours. These are free-handed, but there's a ton of patterns out there that you can follow. And I know that some people probably think the fins are on backwards. I don't care, okay? I think they're cuter that way. So my sister made this turtle. She has a little bit of crochet experience from a long time ago, but just recently she has asked me to teach her again, and she's been helping me prep for markets and stuff. She made the super awesome red dragon, which I definitely have to put a photo up on the screen. She had my help on the certain parts because the pattern can be a little harder, especially if you haven't crocheted in a long time. I helped her where she needed it and it turned out great, and somebody bought it and he was very, very happy, and that made me very happy. And it made her very happy, of course. This little guy right here, some people might be surprised I'm charging $25 for her, and the reason for that is the pattern takes about an hour and a half, a little bit longer. And this yarn, as cute as it is pretty hard to work with. These guys I charge a little bit more. They're also likely to last a lot longer. The yarn texture and everything, they're super soft, so it's not for everyone, but some people will spend that money, and if I wasn't a crocheter, that would be what I'm drawn to. You can just tell that they'll last longer type pieces. And these axolotls I asked on my Instagram if you guys wanted a pattern for. I know there's a pattern similar, but it doesn't look like the stitch count's the same to me, and they also do every piece a little bit different, so the antennas are different. Well, gills, I don't know what they are, but the flanges are different, and I believe the feet are a different placement. So if you have seen a pattern that's similar, you can let me know, and let me know the name of the artist and I can check it out again. But I believe these are pretty original. I mean, there's a ton of axolotl patterns out there, so how original can you be? And then these dinos, they're $25 each. They're just a free pattern. I'll have to put it in the description. I believe it's remake something, but I just edited the pattern. So what I did was I took out the stripes that she had and made the tail my own. I believe the tail pattern is different. For the most part, it is a similar pattern. I changed the way the increases were, but the stitch count's still the same. So check that out if you want a dino pattern that's easy to follow. I just took the stripes out because I didn't want to do the color work. I wanted to make them as fast as I can. That's all the stuff in here. I have the unicorn and the elephant in another bin, and now we can start crocheting. So this is the current plan for colors. We have orange for the main color, this for the hooves, and then cream for the horns. And then I have my trusty crochet hook, which is a 5.5, and then scissors, sewing needle, and we're just gonna get started. My plan is to just make my cow pattern and leave. I think I'm gonna start with leaving the horns as they are for the cow pattern, because I think it'd be really cute to do like a baby calf style. The Highland cow has pretty big horns, so that's where I'm like, do I make horns separately or do I just keep the pattern? And then we're gonna add curls to the top of the head. Let's do it. I'm really excited. I think this will be super cute. So here's where I'm at with the pattern, and the cool part about my cow pattern is that the ears are crocheted directly on, and there's a little bit of stitching involved where we just secure the back of the ear so it doesn't flop all over the place. But I forgot to make the ears first, so now I gotta take the label off the yarn and use the other end to crochet 2 ears so that I can continue the pattern. That's my fault for not pulling the pattern up and reading it. But just wanted to update you. I guess it's just not my day because I thought I cut this yarn and I cut the one connected to my head. All that extra work, and I could have just snipped it and not taken the label off my yarn. So I think I need to move the horns over for the official pattern. Move them right next to the ears, because you can actually see them from the front. You can see them from the side, so I don't know, something to think about, but I need to finish the legs and then we will be done. So I have to make a second one of these now because I don't like the placement of the horns compared to the fluff on the face, because like from the front you can't see the horns, from the side you can. And it's not bad, it's just the Highland cow definitely has the horns on the side of the head more than on top of the head. I am going to make a second one with this being the main color, this lighter color here, and then with a dark brown like what's on this cow here for the hooves and stuff. And then the horns will stay white, but that's the plan for right now, is to make another one. It is 11:30, so I spent all morning making this one. It didn't take too long, but I'm feeling a little burnt out right now, so it felt like it took forever. But I have enough safety eyes to make a second one, so that's what we will do. And then we'll have to move on to chickens this afternoon because I only have 2 of them for the market, and the chickens tend to do well, especially in my area, so I have no other choice. Putting everything together took about 30 minutes for just the strings alone, so this is definitely a time-consuming process. But they're super cute. I have my eBay shop on the tags, which I'm thinking of closing and just doing the coffee shop, but I haven't decided yet. It's just eBay's a whole lot of work, and the coffee shop is actually enjoyable to keep up, so I don't know, I'll think about that in the future. And we have my handle for Instagram and YouTube, and on the other side we have the price. I put tags or stickers on the price so that I can peel them off and reuse them. Then I have the washing instructions, which is spot clean only for the majority of my things, and then the materials, which is mostly polyester, but some of my pieces have acrylic in them. I've got 80 tags here and then a couple extra over here, and I won't be tagging every single thing I have. I'll just be tagging the majority, especially since I don't want to make more tags until my next market, because that was a whole lot of work. So we're gonna start with the bigger items, since those are the more important things to be tagged. The other things have signs. This is an elephant that my sister made. I have the blue one here, which I made a little while ago. Gray elephant, which I made last night. And then we have the Highland cow. There's these two right here. I'm still gonna sell this one, even though the horns aren't exactly where I would want them to be. And then we have the dinos, and there's 3 of these guys. We have 2 unicorns, a pink and a purple one. We have all the axolotls, and we have a regular cow. There's a baby dragon. These guys, they're little insects. This was a pattern test. The bigger version of my dragon pattern, so this is Dahlia. We have the sea turtles. Oh, before I tag everything though, I just have this shark left over from the last festival, and then we have a silky chick left over, and then we have some popping mushrooms, which I'll show you when we move on to the smaller pieces. We're gonna start with the turtles since they're polyester. So the shark's already tagged, so I'll just peel this off and give him a new sticker and lower the price down to 30 for him. He's not very big either, which I think is one of the reasons why he doesn't sell that well at 35. Honestly, the sharks didn't sell super well just in general, which was crazy to me because I had so many people asking if I had sharks, but I guess people don't want big sharks, they want medium-sized sharks, so something smaller than this. That's the plan, is to put this pattern up in my shop soonish and then make a smaller one and put that one up as well. And we're gonna do the sea turtles. So the sea turtles, they are 35 each. I honestly think I could charge 40. This is a smaller market. It's okay if the prices are a tiny bit lower, it'll help sales. So these guys are 100% polyester. Their yarn is polyester stuffing. They just get the polyester mark, and these are some old tags I had on other things I took off, so that's why they're already marked. I'll just take the tag and push it through the loops on their fin. And then pull it. And then that's the tag for the sea turtles. And we're on to our next group. So these guys won't be tagged, but there's a sign for them. The possums will be tagged. These little axolotls I'm planning to just leave without a tag. I've got 5 possums for 15 each. We have bees, which I made in a bunch of different colors. And then we have orange, there's a yellow and brown one, and a yellow and a lighter brown, with yellow and gold one, green, purple, blue one. Then we have the chickens. I have 2 white ones, cream one, a mottled one, and then a Stardew Valley chicken, which is what my sister made. And then we also have caterpillars in this bin, which there's pink, green, blue, yellow, purple, orange as well. Right here. My own pattern, you guys can find it on my YouTube channel for free. These are the ones that I regret making duplicates of, because these guys, I hate making them. I know they're my own pattern and I probably shouldn't talk bad about them, but out of all the patterns that I've designed, they are the most tedious because of their legs. But people really like them and they are cute, so they're worth the effort. If we keep that in mind when you're making caterpillars, that they are a little tedious. The next item I have are these octopi, and we have the whales. The bag is now empty, and we can start tagging. My camera's almost dead, but I promise I'd show you the popping mushrooms that I have left. So I have a couple yellow ones, a light blue, a pink one, orange, a purple one, and then some different colored ones. That's everything, and I will see you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. It is now Saturday. It's a couple hours before we have to leave the house to I'm just putting the final touches of everything together. I have my square reader here, fully charged. We have the safe here. There's some change in here that I have to count and make sure I know how much is in there. I write down the total bill count in my phone, that way in case I miscounted. And here's all the things that I finished. So last night I finished a giant dragon, and then I also made a couple more. Well, I made a couple box turtles. I made 3 of those. Hey everyone, I am back from my market and it's later in the evening, so ignore the lighting. I'm currently covering the sales from today because I don't want to spoil them. I just have to say that I did not sell as much as I wanted to. I kept my expectations low, so I wasn't super disappointed, but I did have somewhat of an expectation and I didn't sell as much as I thought I would. So there's a couple of reasons why this market didn't go well, and the first one is that it was a first annual event. Word of mouth was non-existent for this event. I'm certain that this event will get a lot more people next year if they choose to do it again. Weather was really poor today. It was raining. I knew it would be raining, but it was pretty stormy, and apparently my canopy isn't exactly waterproof, so there was some leaking. This is the first time I used my canopy in the rain, so roll with the punches, and I brought paper towels and we dealt with it, so it wasn't too big of a deal. It just wasn't the best market in general. It's the first annual event, so they're still learning, and apparently it was graduation for a lot of the local colleges and stuff, which will affect turnover a lot, especially since most of my sales come from college students or high schoolers. That is an issue, and it's not something they can really control, but it is something to keep in mind for next year before I decide to go to an event. Focus on what's going on and if the event clashes with that or not. I think if the event was a late night event, it would have been a lot better for sales because people coming home from graduation would have stopped by and seen it, and where we were, it would have been perfectly lit. And the other thing, I think if they really filled the parking lot up, the parking lot was very sparse for vendors. I think if they did double or triple the amount that were there, people would have seen it more and stopped by more. All those things, it is what it is. The event was what it was. It was an okay event. I personally really enjoyed my festival, and I don't think I'll be doing these little events again, but we'll see what happens next year and how I feel. It just wasn't everything that I wanted it to be, and I expected this small event to lead to a small turnout, and it definitely did. It didn't disappoint there. But the first thing I sold on my list was a $10 axolotl. These are just like little handheld axolotls, and they're a pretty good sell. And the next thing I sold was a sea turtle, of course. And then the next 2 items were a sea turtle and a snake. The same person bought both of those for hard, which is why there's a C next to it. And then the final 2 things were 2 octos. So again, somebody came by and bought both of them together for their kids, which was really sweet, and that totaled out to be $24. So the total for everything that I sold today was $119. That is really poor for any event that I've been to. I don't blame my stock at all. It's just the event wasn't very big. It was a first time event, and you know, things like these happen. And as disappointed as I am, it is a lesson. If you go to a market and you have a disappointing turnout like I do, please don't be discouraged. You just need to find the right place for you. And I know that that can be hard and really discouraging when you don't make as much money as you think you will, or sell as many items as you think you will. It's still worthwhile to keep trying, at least for a little while, and you might find something you really, really like. For me, it's starting to become those larger festivals where there's a lot of work for a short amount of time and then a large reward. That's personally how I prefer to make my money. I think sitting at a market, a very slow market for hours every weekend, is not as enjoyable. And I think it can be really discouraging if you sit there for hours and not make the money you thought you would make. For all those reasons, I probably won't be going to another little market unless it's for a very specific reason. I might go to some of the markets I went to last year, but I don't think it'll be worth it. I think the plan right now for me is to go to another festival later in the year. So if you're interested in how that turns out, you guys can stick around for a few months and see how that turns out. The plan is to make a lot of stock, and I'll probably do videos on market prep stuff so you guys can see what I'm working on and get some ideas and inspiration. But I think that's about it for today's video. Thank you all for watching all the way through, and I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have a market and it doesn't turn out well, don't be super discouraged and keep trying. It might be your area you're in, it might be people prefer different things, so just experiment and keep in mind every market you go to, you're gonna have a slightly different experience, so pay attention to, you know, what gets the most compliments or what sells well, and use that to continue to grow. And make sure you learn your lessons and don't make the same mistakes twice. If you do, don't feel bad, because I do the same thing too, but I can still give you that advice. But yeah, have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!